Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Lindor, and I'll be speaking to this lovely lady. And I
Hi.
cannot wait to hear everything that she has to teach us today. Okay, so you're 26. You are a wife. You are a mother. You're a business owner. And where do you find time? How do you juggle everything?
Today, I think it was all of those roles in one. So I have a 1-year-old. He is as busy as any 1-year-old can possibly be. And today, our nanny, she had to take her daughter to the clinic, so she was late. So today, I had him with me, running all the errands, and I thought to myself, why did I decide to do this now while I have a 1-year-old? But I realized quickly that, you know what, it's not hard. It really isn't. When you have a great team, when you have people around you that support you and work well with you, anything is possible. And I realized that today. And I was fretting for nothing, really. I really was. So some days are harder than others.
Yeah.
But in the end, when I sit back and I look at the customers that come in and that are happy, or you guys being here, on all the connections that I make, and it's, you know, it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to know more. Give us a bit of insight on your journey and what sparked your passion for food.
Okay. I love food. I think we all love food
Yeah.
to an extent. Growing up, my mom always experimented and always tried new things. So I would always be eager to like taste this, taste that, be a guinea pig basically. And we'd always say, you know what, imagine this being our coffee shop. We'd sell this, we'd sell that. This is the recipe we'd use, and we'd find ways to make it better than it already tastes. So we were always experimenting, and there's so many ways to do one simple thing. You start with the base of a recipe, and you just build on it, build on it,
True.
build on it, until you get this amazing, flavorful chicken, per se. And you can taste all those flavors through it. So that's what I want when people come in and taste, example, the chicken tonight. You just want to, it makes you feel good. So when you eat good, you feel good.
And then you do good.
Yeah.
True, spoken like a true entrepreneur. You take something that's already there and you add onto it and make it your own. Okay, cool. So, how did you come up with the name The Eatery? What inspired it?
Um, I sat and puzzled, I think, for a really long time, trying to think of what could encompass all that I have to offer. So it's healthy, it's tasty. There's coffee, there's smoothies, water, breakfast, all these things. So there isn't one word really to say. Okay, we've got all these things, so eat, and I just say like, oh, because everything's like the Italian eatery, the Bohemian eatery. So I'm like, why can't we just be the eatery?
Eatery.
We have food, basic.
Awesome. Okay, so the Eatery provides whole foods.
Yes.
So what does that mean to someone like me? Because we've got so much thrown at us. There's banting, there's being vegan and vegetarian. And so what is eating whole food?
Whole foods for me personally comes from knowing where your food comes from, the measures and the processes that it goes to before it gets to us,
Okay.
and then the processes it goes to get on your plate. So
Okay.
that's whole foods, knowing exactly what you're putting into your body. So it's important because we look at what's happening now in terms of genetically modified
Yes.
foods. Do you really want all those chemicals
No,
in your
of
body?
course not, yeah.
So
Yeah.
when it's fresh, it tastes fresh. When it's genetically modified, it tastes genetically modified.
Did you receive any form of help? Maybe were you part of a mentorship program or anything like that?
No, funny enough, I was not. And people ask me that a lot. And I think for me to go into this not knowing what to expect is from watching others do.
Okay.
And learning from their mistakes, we've got YouTube nowadays.
Yeah.
We've got Google. So you learn everywhere. There's any chance to learn. I was there. Online classes, small cooking classes, I was there. Any chance I could, I learned.
And what would you say? Okay, you didn't have a mentor or anything like that, but if you had, what would you say would be the most important aspect of having a mentor or being part of a mentorship program?
Just how do I put this? Just an ever growing. I don't know how to say this. Basically, just something that's always growing.
Okay.
Someone that I could always turn back to and say, hey, you know what? This isn't working for me. How can I overcome that obstacle in terms of the business, in terms of personal capacity, whatever it is? So someone that helps me to grow, and I can always also help them to grow, and they teach me to help others grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you're from Durban. And I mean, I'm from Durban, and I'm sitting here wondering, why did you leave Durban and come to Bloem? Why didn't you open the Eatery in Durban? Because I mean, it's one of the busiest cities in the country, and you chose Bloemfontein.
I blame my husband.
Okay.
So we met in Durban when he was on holiday, and then I ended up back in Bloemfontein, the last place on earth I thought I would ever end up.
Welcome back.
But I've made Bloemfontein my home. I love it. I love the people that I've met, and Bloemfontein has its own character. So really,
Yeah.
as much as I love Durban, I love Bloemfontein.
Yeah. Okay, so with keeping that in mind, what are some of the challenges that you're currently facing in Bloemfontein?
Because we are a halal eatery, there isn't access or the quality and standard for halal
Okay.
meats and things like that. So more often than not, I find myself having to go out of town to
Yeah.
get those things. So courier costs and stuff like that do add up. But I was a young girl standing in front of a restaurant saying, "Ah, guys, why aren't you halal?" So
Yeah.
I don't mind going that extra mile to bring halal to Bloemfontein, because you can't find it here in Bloemfontein other than your fast food stores.
True.
So if something's fresh, something different, I can offer that. Not just halal, but just something different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you doing before the Eatery?
I was a stay-at-home mom, studying BCom business management.
Okay. And then how was the transition into entrepreneurship from that?
Oh, okay. So I've always had the idea to have my own little place. I mean, I've talked about it for years. I've written it down, diaries, books, little papers. I'll see something, write it down. So when Prela started their renovation, my husband and I were looking around and we said, you know what, maybe there's a possibility of opening up something, you
Yeah.
know? So I saw this space and I was like, you know, this is a really nice spot, but what do I open? And then he's like, let's do food. I'm like, then my mind's like, oh, yes, food. I don't mind, you know?
Yeah.
All these ideas, I've just started rushing and I thought to myself, but what does Bloemfontein not have?
Okay, cool, yeah.
So then the process started of who do I contact? Because I knew absolutely no one in Bloemfontein other than my husband and one or two friends. So the first people I spoke to were Paolo and Carla about the idea, and then we took it from there. And then before the interior and everything, I needed to decide, what am I going to serve? So I said, okay, there's takeout, there's Burger King, there's Nando's. There's a lot of fast food, but do we have healthy, easy, fast, on-the-go food?
Okay.
That's tasty, you know?
Yeah.
Because everyone associates fast food with rabbit food, the salad, dry bread, and things like that. So I wanted to find a way to make it look, feel, and taste amazing. So that's just what I did. And I worked with a chef in Cape Town
Okay.
to help me just understand a little more, because I know food, but I don't know healthy. I didn't know healthy food at that time.
Okay.
To an extent, you do know, you know.
Yeah.
So she worked with me on pairings and cereals and all these things just to broaden my knowledge. And we developed a few recipes and stuff for the store. So that helped me to now kind of create a foundation for the eatery.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so lastly, do you have any industry advice for restaurateurs like yourself, perhaps?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person. I'm joking. You know what? You're never gonna be ready. In all honesty, you can plan and plan, but it's good to plan because not planning to plan is planning to fail. But take that leap. You know, you never know how good something is gonna turn out unless you do it. And the worst thing that could happen is someone says no, or you don't do well, but then you pick yourself up, and you carry on. You keep trying, because if you don't, someone else is gonna hire you to do exactly what you want to do. So just dive right in, which is what I did, head first,
Yeah.
no goggles, and do it. And you'll learn as you go. Everyone does. Remember, McDonald's or all these big corporations started small. They started not knowing what to do, and they learned, and now they're telling us what to do. So why can't we be them
That's
or
true.
be us?
Go big or go home, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys would like to ask Jowhara some questions, and she would be glad to answer.
Yeah.
Future-wise, what are you thinking? How big are you going to go?
Eventually, I would like to be a bigger store, a fine dining, healthy restaurant, sit down, 5 course type of thing, and eventually a Whole Foods grocer in Bloemfontein. Okay.
I would like to know, how long did it take you to plan it? And was it difficult getting funding? And perhaps also, what challenges did you go through that you weren't expecting? Like,
Okay.
so there's.
Okay, firstly, how long did it take? Obviously, I've had the idea for a while. So to put it onto proper paper, I had to contact someone who now does business planning and all the nitty-gritty stuff to, things that are important that we don't think about. For example, the business plan, 5-year forecast, and all those things. You don't want to think about that as a restaurateur. I'm not a restaurateur or an owner. So it took me, I think, roughly 6 months to put everything together, but it was rushed, meaning I had to, because I needed to get the space before anyone else did. Because I love this space. I mean, it's open. So if anyone else got here, I would have been very sad about it. So roughly 6 months. So what was the second part of your question?
The challenges and in terms of funding.
Okay, challenges. Not knowing anyone in Bloemfontein and not knowing where to start. When I first found Carla and them, they helped me to go in the right direction with people, and that led to me meeting more people and networking really well, and meeting tons of other people who had different um, services to offer. So, like that, I think that was my biggest challenge, not knowing anyone. Funding, I can thank my lovely husband for, because he was my biggest funder and still is. And we did apply for a grant. Unfortunately, we were approved, that we're still waiting for that. Yeah, thanks.
Hi, here at the back.
Hi.
So I feel like one of Bloemfontein's biggest problems is we live in a community that's kind of stuck in a comfort zone where they'll go to the same restaurant every week for 7 years. So what's your approach to marketing or campaigning, and how are you planning as the Eatery to kind of break into that market and inspire a typical Bloemfontein family to visit a restaurant like the Eatery?
What I found in Bloemfontein, that a lot of the people, like you said, that go to the same restaurant day in, day out, every night or weekend, are the same people that travel a lot, and they'll go to places like this out of Bloemfontein. So why can't they come here in Bloemfontein? So in terms of marketing, social media obviously is climbing in Bloemfontein, and we use that as our biggest tool. Like flyers and stuff seem to work really well, because Bloemfontein is quite old school in that sense. Radio advertising and just running specials. People love coffee. Coffee is a community, so we'd strive to have really good coffee, and then word of mouth really built up with that. And we'll get an old guy come in and he'll enjoy the coffee. Then we'll see the next day he'll bring another 2 friends and stuff like that. So we build relationships with our customers. And so in that way, we've seen it building and increasing as we've been going on. Is there anyone else?
Hello.
Hi.
All right. So for me, it feels like in Bloom, you do something, but it's got to be something different. Hello. So like Waka Berry was here, and people got over it, and they left. Like you can't do the same thing forever. I know you said what makes you different is you're doing halal and healthy food, but what are you planning on doing on staying in the industry, and what can we expect from the Eatery in the near future?
One thing people like nowadays is change. They want to see a menu change every 2 weeks if possible. I'll have people come in and they're like, do you have anything new on the menu that I can try? And I'll be like, okay, we've got this, we've taken this, we've changed it around. So keeping with the seasons and changing is also keeping healthy, whole foods, because you're not going to have stuff that's frozen, sitting in the freezer from 3 months ago or 10 months ago. You're going to have what's readily available right now. So as seasons change, we're going to plan on changing the menu to suit the season. So keep them guessing, basically. And then with that, expanding as well, doing wellness events and creating awareness of conscious eating and things like that. Just because Bloemfontein is very healthy, we don't realize it. There are a lot of people that are into it. We just need to make the others more aware. Create a hype, basically.
I actually don't have a question for you, but I do want to commend Jowhara. Just something that we saw about Jowhara when we first met her was that she was painfully shy. Jowhara was the most painfully shy person that I've ever met in my whole life. She literally asked Paolo that if they could WhatsApp rather than speak over the phone. She was that shy. So I just actually want to commend Jowhara for taking this humongous leap of faith, for following your heart. This is an absolute passion for Jowhara, and you guys will see when you speak to Jowhara about a shop, her eyes light up. She's in love with this industry and she loves this shop and this space. So I want to commend her for taking this huge leap of faith and just showing everybody that in 3 months' time you can be on Google Startup Grand stage, owning it and being just the most comfortable person in front of an audience that she literally didn't know anybody. So well done, Jowhara. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla.
All right then. Thank you so much, Jowhara.
Pleasure. Thank you.
The food was amazing. Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it.
I'm so coming back. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please give her a round of applause.